Now, David, what I did want to show you, just as an example of what you were saying before, if you have a little bit of a tool that you want to create for yourself, right? Something
Right.
you create yourself, you can still organize it in a manner that looks professional. It's just a matter of getting used to it. For example, this is a little simple GUI that we created. This was something that we had to create. I would say it was very fast. This is not a professional tool. But the idea is that, and actually, this follows exactly the same pattern that Irfan was displaying a few minutes ago when he was displaying the GUI, right?
Right.
But as soon as you kind of like load a very specific sort of scripts that we have, what happens is some information gets filled in and everything kind of like loaded and it looks like a little bit more professional. Like it's, but what's happening here is just the organization. It has a lot of interesting features on the like under the hood that you might not think on the first thing that had it. Like for example, keeping track of what is in that field. You can modify the fields by double clicking. You can make a change, but then now I'm keeping track of what you just did. Oh, look, you
I see.
changed what the original was.
Right.
And again, you can validate the field. Oh, I'm asking for a phone number, but the phone number that you provided is invalid. Yeah, you can do all those things. AutoHotkey, again, is extremely powerful. And especially when you kind of like build it off slowly. But can these look better in HTML? Of course it can. Can you do it in AutoHotkey? Yes, you can. Like it's not it's not impossible to get something good looking without you
Oh,
just by the things that you have.
Maestri, on one project we did several years ago, he had something almost like what Isaias was showing, and he did it first all in AutoHotkey, where he was changing colors and the colors were up, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta." He didn't talk to. This is one of the things. We still get along fine, but he just makes decisions because it's not perfect enough, and so he went and redid it all in HTML, right? And doing HTML, and then after doing that for a couple of weeks, then he decided, no, I need to switch to C sharp. And he redid the entire thing again. And he's burning, he didn't get paid by the hour. It was for a project, right? But I'm like, dude, you are just burning through time on things that no one notices other than you, right? Like, because he is a perfectionist, and it's hard sometimes for people to say it's good enough, Like I
Hmm.
need to get something done and get it to the client. Um, but yeah, it's to Zace's point, like you can make stuff look pretty decent in AutoHotkey. You don't have to use the default what everyone uses. Like
Right.
that stuff he was showing you there was that's all the Win32 controls, right? Zace that you showed
Yeah,
there.
they are 100%. Those are the normal 132 controls. Sorry, the Win32 controls. They I haven't modified them except for the options and colors. I would say organization. The things look tidy, organized, and kind of like aligned
Right.
goes a long way. Just what we don't do very often? We don't change the font very often or the size of the font. If you just by changing the font to a different one, making it a little bit bigger and making the background white, you get a totally different feeling for an AutoHotkey script than what you're used to. The thing is that
Remember,
we usually use these default colors and default sizes.
and I think it was Matthew, that I remember who this was several years ago. He was like, "Oh, I want to have an image in the background of everything," and then he was doing stuff, and
Yeah.
the idea sounded cool. But then even he realized later, after I said, I thought, like, really, it sounds cool, but I don't think you really want that because it makes it hard to read. It makes everything like,
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
yeah. Um, and he still incorporated it in the part. He had the logo. I think it was some sort of logo, and he incorporated it,
Right.
in a spot instead of the whole thing. But it's one of those things like you can jazz up the stuff and make it look much better than without switching to anything.
I would say something. So in AutoHotkey, what happens is this. I don't want to say it in a bad way, right? Because I don't mind because I do it myself, right? But
Mhm.
AutoHotkey does not have enough community support that creates libraries as with other languages. For example, in Python, oh, I want to create beautiful images. Somebody spent 4,000 hours creating a library that does only that thing.
Right.
Oh, I want to do the best math thing ever. Somebody did that. Not a hotkey. We don't have that. You can do everything, but you have to do it yourself.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm realizing as I'm doing stuff, I'm like, all right, first, I'm not going to recreate this. Let's see if someone did a library, and then if
Nobody has.
or if no one has, or if they did, oh, it's missing these things. Now we have to recreate
Right.
these things.
Yeah.
and then you're depending on them to update it and send. Now, what I was gonna say also is this: we need to reach out to Hellbent. He hasn't joined us in a while.
A long time, yeah.
But he did switch over to V2, or at least he's programming in V2. I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
if he
He did?
fully switched over. Yeah, he was
Oh,
creating stuff
wow,
in
really?
V2. Yeah, but that because he's one of those people for GUIs, he would be one of those people that spends a crazy amount of time putting together libraries, and he's got amazing stuff in V1, right? But
Yes, he did.